guys, Leanne here on Grady's Mom with Cooking Series Volume 28. This is for a stoup. So I know some people don't know what that word means, but it is a combination of like a soup and a stew. So it's thicker than a soup, but thinner than a stew. So hopefully that makes sense. I know it's a culinary term that a lot of people use. Again, the word is a stoup. This is for a chili slash macaroni cheesy stoup. So it has flavors of chili, it has flavors of mac and cheese, and it's all combined into one pot. This is a stovetop recipe. I've only ever made this on the stovetop. I've never made it in the crock pot, although I'm sure you could. Again, it combines the flavors of chili as well as a cheesy macaroni all in one dish. And let's go ahead and see what we need to make it. So for this recipe, you're gonna need approximately a pound of ground beef. You're going to need some chili seasoning or chili mix. I just use the mix. You can also use chili powder and make your own chili seasoning. You're also going to need some cumin. You're going to need some cheddar cheese, about 3/4 of a cup. You're going to need some chicken broth, 4 cups, which is 32 ounces. You're going to need some garlic, some crushed or diced tomatoes, some red and white kidney beans, some pasta. I'm using elbows. I would recommend using elbows. The several times I've made this recipe, I've used elbows and it was perfect. You're also going to need an onion, just a yellow or a white cooking onion. And then you're also going to need some fresh parsley. If you don't have fresh parsley and you just have dried parsley, that's perfectly fine. I personally prefer it with the fresh, but again, the dried parsley would be just fine. So again, this is a stovetop recipe, so let's go ahead and get this beef into the pan and start putting this soup together. Okay, step one, you're gonna get your ground beef browning up. Make sure you break it all up with your spoon. So you're gonna brown this completely, and then you're gonna drain any fat that is left in a pasta strainer, and we're gonna put it back in the pan. So I'm just working on that. Okay guys, beef is cooked. It is in the pasta strainer and it is draining all the fat out. In the same pan that we cooked the beef, I have it back on the heat. I'm gonna take just some extra virgin olive oil and just do a little bit on the bottom. I don't know, a couple tablespoons. And then I'm gonna get my onions into that same pot that I just cooked the beef in. So I'm gonna go ahead, throw my onions right in there. Alrighty guys, so I let the onions go for about 3 to 4 minutes and then I added back in my beef, okay? So that's where we left off. Next, I am going to bring all of this together. So let me go ahead and turn my fan on low. I'm going to turn the heat up and I'm going to get my garlic in, my minced garlic. It calls for 2 cloves, so I'm just going to do a little bit more than 2 teaspoons. Next, I'm getting in my diced tomatoes, just a standard size can of diced tomatoes. Let me just spread these out. Okay, next I'm going to throw in my beans. A can of white and a can of red that I rinsed and drained. Let's give this a stir. So this is just a 1-pot stoup, 1-pot dish, 1-pot meal, whatever you want to call it. So far, super simple. Ground beef, drained it, onion, garlic, red beans, white beans, diced tomatoes. That's all we've got going on so far. Okay, so that looks pretty well combined. I'm going to get the heat up a little bit more and I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to get my spices in. Okay, so we have my chili mix going in. Next we're going to do the cumin. Calls for a 1.5 teaspoons. I'm going to do just about that right on top. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and get my broth in. Chicken broth. I'm gonna go ahead and give this a stir to even this all out. Alrighty guys, so there you have it. Now, I have turned it up to high. We want to bring this to a boil. So bringing it to a boil is just going to get all those flavors working together. Now, if you stopped right here and served this the way that it is, it's pretty delicious, I'm not going to lie. And this would be, to me, in my opinion, like a soup, okay? Because it's brothy. But we are not going to stop here. Once we bring it to a boil, we are going to throw in some elbow noodles, which is going to soak up a lot of this broth. That's why I'm calling this a stoup, because it's, like I said, thicker than a soup, but thinner than a stew. So we're gonna actually cook the noodles right in here. We're also going to add, after the noodles are cooked, some cheddar cheese, shredded cheddar cheese. You can also add Parmesan cheese. We definitely want cheese in there. And then we are going to garnish it with fresh parsley, which gives it a really fresh flavor. However, like I said, if you wanted to stop here, meaning not add anything else, you could just simmer it just like this and it would be pretty much like a chili soup. But I'm going to go ahead and add in the pasta in a little bit. It makes it more hearty. It just makes it more of a one dish meal rather than just a soup, if that makes sense. So it's coming to a boil. I'm going to bring it all the way up to a boil and we'll throw the pasta in and bring it together. Okay guys, once we have a full boil like this, we're going to take 10 ounces of pasta. So you see it's a couple ounces above the 8-ounce mark, and we're going to dump the elbows right into the pot. Again, this is 10 ounces. Going to give it a quick stir just to make sure all the pasta is submerged in the broth. And we're going to set our timer and let this go for about 12 minutes. Alright guys, so almost 10 minutes have gone by, and look how much this has thickened up. So it's just a perfect consistency. So I tested the pasta, it's done. So I'm turning the heat down to low since it's all cooked and ready to go. And lastly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour my shredded cheese. I'll get my tripod set up. I'm going to pour my shredded cheese right on top, like that. Also, I decided I'm going to do some Parm cheese. So I'm going to shake some Parm cheese. I'm going to do about half my parsley. Okay, and I'm going to put the top on for just a couple minutes so this can melt, and then we are all done and ready to plate it up. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and take a final look. It's all done. Again, I just put the lid on for a couple minutes just to let that cheese really melt, and it smells absolutely delicious. I just tasted it, it's excellent. So I'm going to go ahead, get myself a nice bowl of it, and then I'm going to add a little bit more of this fresh parsley on top and a little bit more Parmesan cheese. I cannot wait to eat this. It looks so yummy. Little bit more parsley, little shake of cheese, and I don't know about you, but I'm ready to dig in. So I really hope you guys will give this one a try. I feel like it's perfect all year round, even in summer, and it's just light at the same time hearty, and it's pretty healthy. I absolutely love it. You could use ground turkey meat if you didn't want to use beef, or if you're just not a beef fan. I'll have everything typed up down below. The quantity that I made makes quite a bit more than we needed. So I wouldn't recommend freezing it just because of the pasta, but I'm sure you could freeze it. It would be perfectly fine. But it definitely feeds a large crowd. I would say this could easily feed a family of 6. So we are certainly going to have leftovers, which is fine. I'll just use it for lunches. But I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you'll give it a try. Have a great day, and I will see you very soon. Bye, guys.